All right, in this video, we are going to run through this in-class exercise. It says create a JavaFX application with a pane root component containing 2 labels, 2 text fields, and a button. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So public class. All right, so there's our class header. Don't forget it needs to extend application. Then Java is not going to know what you're talking about. So you are going to give it the import statement, import JavaFX.application.application. That should fix that error. All right, and so you can see now we're getting a different error. It says in-class FX is not abstract and does not override the abstract method start stage. Okay, so we're gonna have to add that in there. So it is public void start stage like so, and that should give us a different error now. Okay, so you can see it says public void start cannot find symbol stage, so that means that we need the stage. Import. All right, if you run it now, then absolutely nothing will happen, right? Because of the fact that we don't have any code here. We haven't even shown the stage yet. Okay, so let's end it. All right, let's see if we can get that started. Stage.show. So maybe we can at least get the window to pop up. All right, so the window pops up. You can see though I'm getting a ton of errors right inside here. So it's not really liking that too much. And I'm gonna get rid of it because we don't really have it properly set up. So it'll run, right? But we don't have a scene in here or any other the other things that we need. All right. So let's start adding in the things that we need. First, right, we are going to need a root component, right? And it's pane. It said to use pane. All right. All right, cannot find symbol, so it's going to need that one. Import JavaFX dot scene dot layout dot pane maybe. All right, so that's the import for the pane. Then the other thing is a scene, right? Scene, and I'm just going to call it scene equals new scene, and I'm going to give it the root component that we created, the root, right? And then the width and the height, 800 by 600, so I don't have to keep resizing it. And we need to import for scene, right? So that would be import JavaFX dot scene dot scene. All right, there we go. So it is looking okay so far. Oops. Nope. Still getting these errors, right? Because of the fact, no, I spelled scene wrong here, right? I forgot to tell the stage.setScene. So I'm telling the stage, hey, use this newly created scene, and let's clear this, and now we should not be getting those all those errors, right? And you can see we're good now. Oops. All right, there we go. All right, so far so good. So we've got our basic application started up. Everything's good to go. And now we need to start adding some stuff in here. So 2 labels, 2 text fields, and a button. All right, so I'm going to start creating my labels. Label 1 equals new label. And I'm going to pretend like it's form or something. All right, and when I try to compile that, it's not going to go. Okay, because it can't find label, right? So that's going to be import JavaFX .scene.control.label, I believe. All right, there we go. And now we look and see where our labels are at, right? And we can see we've got nothing in here, right? And we have nothing because we did not add anything to our root component, right? We created the labels and they exist for right now, but they're not in here, right? We have to go ahead and add those in there. So let's do that. All right, so the way that you would add those in there is roots, and that's this root pane. And actually, I'm going to have to move this line. I'm going to move it down here. So I want to get this pane all set up, and then do it this way, and then create the scene. Okay, so I'm going to get the pane set up and do that. All right, so then it's get children. That will get all of the components that are in the scene, the list, and then we can add those in there. All right, so now those 2 labels should be in there. All right, there you go. Right, the labels are in there, but you can see they are just like kind of sitting over the top of each other. And you can see they're run together. So that's no good. So I really kind of want to move those around. And so to do that, it's with a pane, right? It's relocate. So let's relocate it to, I don't know, halfway down would be 300, 400. And let's move label 2 now let's make this 200 and 400. All right, that's what it looks like. I kind of meant for them to be one on top of the other, so that would be probably what, 400 and then 200 and 400. Now that looks good, but I kind of want to bring it back over a little bit. All right, so far so good. Okay. All right, next up is two text fields. So let's do that. So text field. I'm just going to call it text1 equals new text field. I'm just going to leave these blank when I create them. No space. All right, and then we're going to need to relocate these two. So let's relocate these. Text1, let's relocate it to 200. Let's go 300, 200. And on this one, 300, 400. So it looks like that now, and then hopefully the okay, yeah, we need the import for text field. We don't have that yet, so let's add that up here. Import JavaFX.scene.control text field, and we're gonna have to add a button. So let's go ahead and add that one in there as well. All right, again, nothing in there, right? Nothing changed. Why is that? Well, I forgot, right, to add the text fields in there. So let's go ahead and add those in there. And how I have it is not going to work, right? Because I've created the texts fields after I'm trying to add in there. So I need to create them first and then add them in there. So I'm going to have to move that line down. All right, and let's see. Oh, my other text field's up here, so that didn't work out so well. Because this should be text 2 right here. All right, there we go. Man, that's looking good. Man, look at that. Okay. All right, finally the button, right? And for the button, let's just call it button. And then we'll put submit on the button. And then we're going to have to move it someplace. Where should we put it? Maybe farther out, maybe 400 and then 300. And then let's not forget to add it into the pane. Okay. Man, that looks really good. Actually, I don't really like the button placement, but it's good enough. So you can see one of the things about pane is that it is kind of easy to move this around with relocate, because there is kind of a lot to the positioning and things that happen here. So I want you to be able to add these things in here relatively easy. Is one of the reasons why I used pane, right? But then, you know, one of the downsides of pane is that you have to get the precise location. So you spend a lot of time, you know, if you didn't work it out the math beforehand, right, kind of moving these things around. One other thing about pane, right, is that, you know, if you shrink this back, then you're like, well, wait a second, I can't see anything. So some of the elements disappear off of the screen. Now that might be all right for like a desktop app, you know, but if you're programming this for a phone or something like that, you know, that wouldn't be that great. So But that's about it. I just want to show the basics of creating an application, right? And now we're able to create an application and then add some components in. Okay, so in the next section, we will talk about some more things about getting those components in there in different ways other than using pane, so with different layouts. And then after that, then we'll start working on getting the action up and running in these programs, getting it so that your program, when the user clicks the button, something actually happens in there. For right now, we're not going to worry about that and just kind of take it step by step. All right, that is it on this video.